Welcome to my channel Cine Chills. Let's enjoy the explanation of the movie. The woman found a goat possessed by a demon. As expected, the farmer shot and dispersed the entire flock of goats. The only goat that was possessed did not leave. Instead, it stared at the farmer and did not move. The man pointed the gun at itself. The goat even walked forward and pointed the gun directly at its forehead, as if to provoke the man. The man did not dare to shoot. The woman hurried to get an axe because she knew that firearms could not hurt the demon and would make the situation worse. But the man had completely lost his mind at this time. He did not listen to his wife's dissuasion and shot directly. The goat fell down. Unexpectedly, the next second, the woman's behavior became even more weird. She turned the axe to the demon. Then he chopped it down with all his strength. Ever since throwing away the demon seed, the Petter brothers have always looked worried, as if they expected that things would not end there. That night, Maria's youngest son suddenly came to visit the brothers. After learning about the death of Louis and his wife and his mother's whereabouts, he was very scared and came here to stay for one night. Through all, she had close contact with the demon. Petter didn't dare to let the boy live at home, so he only agreed to let him live in the bone warehouse to avoid the cold. He had to leave as soon as the sun rose tomorrow. The sharp-eyed younger brother found that the boy was carrying a weapon, so he confiscated his revolver. Before leaving, the boy told them not to turn on the lights, as the shadows of the lights could easily be cast. The two brothers discussed it for a night and decided to stay away from this polluted land the next day, but before leaving they had to take all their relatives with them. The elder brother Petter had been married before, and the two boys born to him were now with him. Ex-wife's life Petter went to pick up his two sons while his brother Jimmy went to pick up their old mother. When they arrived at the ex-wife's house, the first person they saw was the ex-wife's current husband. Petter ignored the strange look he gave her and actually he took off his clothes in front of his face. He didn't want to bring the devil's breath into the house. When his ex-wife saw Petter, she was furious and complained that he shouldn't come to disturb her life. Petter tried to explain everything to them, but the woman was like crazy and didn't listen to anything at all. The dog at home just sniffed the man's clothes. Unexpectedly, the next second, it bit the little daughter's collar like a demon and dragged her out of the house. The men hurriedly chased after it, but in just a turn, the dog and the little daughter ran away. The man hurried back home to get a gun. Petter persuaded him not to use firearms, but this time the man didn't listen at all. They finally found the dog on the corner of the street. The dog died under the man's gun, but the girl disappeared. Seeing this, Petter hurried to his ex-wife's house. She knew that the devil was chasing her. Now the most urgent thing was to take the children away quickly. But when she returned home, she saw the little girl return to her mother safely. Then the girl whispered something in her mother's ear. The mother thought it was a child talking nonsense. Petter didn't think so. She knew that the girl who came back was not a human at all, so she hurriedly took her two sons and drove away. Petter had just backed the car out of the garage when she saw a horrifying scene. What was even more terrifying was that the next second the girl appeared in front of everyone alive and kicking. Petter picked up his brother and mother and drove to the suburbs. He didn't know where to go. He just wanted to get as far away from here as possible. After the mother got in the car, she heard something. After all, the old man was well informed, so he told them that if they encountered a demon, they should use 7 rules to save your life. Don't use electricity for lighting, don't get close to animals, don't try to hurt them, don't touch anything that's been close to them, don't use gunpowder to kill them, and don't call the devil by name, my mother said. Petter interrupted her. She didn't want to talk about these things in front of the children. However, no one noticed that the eldest son with autism suddenly said the name of a fallen angel. At this time, the mother's mobile phone rang. Turned out to be a call from the ex-wife. Petter snatched the phone and walked out of the car for a long time before he dared to press the answer button. The voice on the phone was obviously not the voice of the ex-wife. In the end, she didn't forget to mock Petter. Petter smashed the phone angrily and regretted his behavior. It was because he rashly ran to his ex-wife's house that he indirectly killed their family. This time, the younger brother Jimmy suddenly remembered a friend's younger brother. My friend Mirda is an exorcist. She and her husband had seen some kind of danger more than 10 years ago. Unfortunately, her husband died accidentally during an exorcism. She has been living in seclusion here for these years, relying on 7 rules to save her life. After learning their purpose, Mirda was not afraid and expressed his willingness to help them solve the problem. But before he could take any action, another accident happened that night. Our video today ends here. If you like it, please subscribe, follow, like, collect, and support me. See you in the next movie.